Would you like to know one unknown but very common mistake many make in the cooking process that generates both toxic fumes and free radicals, which are extremely harmful to your long and short-term health? Then I have an episode for you that you do not want to miss. And as an added bonus, at the end of this episode, I'll give you a healthier oil one could use if one wants to cook at very high temperatures. So I'm going to need you to hit those alerts, that notification button, that famous gray bell you see on the top. Can you hear it? That'll let you know when part 2 of our special on cooking oils has been released. Now, if you like what you've heard today, of course, that like button. Share this with other diabetics or those looking to stay fit and remain healthy. Today's advice is for everyone. Now, as they say, getting to know your fats and oils can be a slippery business. No pun intended. Which ones are healthy? Which ones are not? That's where the first set of confusions come in. Then we are inundated with a myriad of bottles on those supermarket shelves. Which ones to choose? Why? Well, we're only told this. Just don't buy the cheapest ones. Okay. If that wasn't already daunting enough task to figure this all out. We got to put all that aside. One of the most important components to consider when picking a fat or an oil to cook in is called the smoke point. So, to begin, what is a smoke point and why does it matter to your health? Okay. Now, have you ever left oil in a pan over high heat, kind of forgot about it, only to see it producing smoke? That's because every cooking oil or fat has a smoke point, or what is known as a temperature in which it starts to burn. What happens? The oil begins to break down, becomes carcinogenic, and releases toxic smoke into the air that you breathe. It's not a good thing. When you cook with oil that has been heated past a smoking point, you do more than impart kind of a burnt flavor into the food. Those beneficial nutrients and phytochemicals that are found in the oils are also destroyed too. Something to think about. Now, overheating also creates dangerous and harmful elements called free radicals. We're not going to get all complex and crazy here. So simply put, what free radicals do, they break cells down. Okay? So healthy bodies start to age and deteriorate quicker over time the more you're exposed to them. All right? So let's briefly discuss why certain oils are superior at cooking at higher temperatures while others are not. So as the saying goes, you have to choose the right oil or fat for the right job. And we'll have a little history lesson 101 for you. Now, oils for centuries, as you know, have been extracted from nuts and seeds through it's like a mechanical crushing and pressing process. If that oil has been bottled immediately, the key word is immediately, right after the extraction process, you've got what's known as a cold-pressed raw or virginal. All right? Now, not only will they have very natural flavors, colors, and odors imparted within them, but they'll be packed with minerals, enzymes, other key very healthy components. And these minerals, enzymes, and other components, see, they burn very easily with heat. And they become especially susceptible to becoming rancid, which we will discuss in episode or part number 2. All right? So these oils high in minerals, enzymes, and healthy compounds are just generally suited for drizzling, dressing, and lower temperature cooking. Now, this is what I want you to understand. In order to produce an oil with a high smoking point, or in other words, you can cook at very high temperatures, the manufacturers have to refine. They've got to remove and pull out all those key healthy ingredients. Through a process, they use bleaching, filtering, some more high pressure temperature heating. So what you're left with is a very neutral flavored oil. One that will also have a much longer shelf life. But 2, you'll be able to use and cook it with higher temperatures. And here's the important point I want to make. We briefly discussed what free radicals are. It is the healthy antioxidants that are removed in that refinement process, which help prevent the oxidation of these free radicals. So in other words, it becomes like a double whammy. This is why everyone keeps saying and harping on the fact you want a diet high in antioxidants. Not from pills and supplements. That's not what we're about. Vegetables being one of the best sources around you because they are known as nutrient-dense compounds. You really want to focus in on those deeply covered vegetables. So let's put into practice what we've learned. As we said in episode 1, we're about practical knowledge. Now, most use olive oil because of its health benefits. But they use the same olive oil for multiple purposes. But before we understand why that could be a mistake, we need to know the difference between the olive oils. Okay? So we've got extra virgin olive oil versus regular olive oil. Extra virgin olive oil is made from pure, cold-pressed olives, whereas olive oil is actually a blend, including both cold-pressed and processed oils, including sometimes, which you may not be aware of, are other oils in there, other polyunsaturated oils in there, which they sneak in. Extra virgin olive oil is always an unrefined oil, whereas regular olive oil is refined, like we talked about. It's been treated with chemicals, additives, bleaching, filtering, and the high temperature heating process we've already discussed. Now, that does two things. One, it pulls out all the nutrients that we've discussed, but it allows that oil to be used at higher temperatures. It's a little trade-off, and we talked about trade-offs. Now, I have something for you to do. I want you to pause this video right now. I want you to grab a pen and a piece of paper and write these key terms down. A few words. Smoking point temperature list. I'll wait. I'll say it one more time. Smoking point temperature list. Google it. That will give you a full list of fats and oils and what maximum temperature they can be used for. But remember this. I want you to objectively focus in on those listed temperatures. Most of the top sites that will be pulled up will be bought and paid for. They'll be pushing one agenda, one product, or one oil or another. Okay, that's not what we want. We just want those objective lists. What you see in your list, let's go back to the olive oil. The extra virgin olive oil smoking point is around 320, whereas the refined olive oils, which you now know the difference, is around 390 to 470, again, depending on how refined it is. All right? Now, what is the moral of the story? The higher the fat smoking point, the more cooking methods you can use for it. Again, it's a trade-off. So now you're wondering, we talked about olive oil. Is olive oil healthy? The million-dollar question. That depends on who you listen to and where you get your information from. Unfortunately, this is the first internet generation that sort of believes everything they see and hear on both the internet and TV is accurate. Whereas I, on the other hand, because of my educational background, I am just the opposite. I am skeptical of everything I see. And folks, here's why. Now, the worldwide net and the general media's job is to get your attention. It's how they get paid. They're not there to provide you with the truth. What they need is shock and awe, fireworks, magic. So critically dissecting studies and finding flaws, it's not their job. So everything will be distorted, and you're going to get a myriad of answers. The ones that give the most shock and awe will always be at the top of your search because they pull the most people in. And unfortunately, it is those incorrect and sensationalized statements that get repeated over and over and over again. That's what they want. Okay? So, if you search, is olive oil healthy? The videos and search links, they're not going to fully analyze or break down the scientific studies that we're going to be reporting on. Press releases are never questioned. Facts will always get distorted. Qualifiers will disappear. Headlines need to turn sensational. And in the end, the point I want to make, the truth always gets hidden. So, am I going to answer that question today? Is olive oil healthy? I'm not going to answer that question just today. Be patient, but very soon. I got to keep you coming back for more. I will say this. There are certain oils I will not allow to be used in this house, which I do consider to be very unhealthy. You're going to have to subscribe. You're going to have to hit that bell so that when I do go into detail which ones they are, you will be the first to know. So, back to my bonus question that I will give you today. What oil could you use for those extremely high cooking methods? One suggestion, avocado oil. If you looked at your list, you see that it has a very high smoke point by comparison to other oils. It will not burn or smoke until it reaches 550 degrees Fahrenheit, or actually around 520 degrees Fahrenheit. For those of you who love to sear your meats or fry in a wok, this one's ideal. If you've ever had it before, I would consider it like a really mild flavored cooking oil. Its drawbacks are it's gonna be a little pricey, but as of recently, because everyone's looking for it, it is pretty much readily available at most grocery stores now. Okay? Stay tuned for part 2 of the series. The smoke point is one factor that plays into your well-being. There are 2 big components which will also determine if your oils remain fresh or go rancid. That could exponentially hurt your health even further. All right, stay tuned for that, folks. I do thank you for spending some of your valuable time with me. I hope you learned something new that could bring meaning into your life. If you'd like to know more about my story, my educational background, and why you'd possibly want to listen to me in the future, then I'm going to have you click on that box. I'm going to create a little box you will see with my episode number 1, my introduction. That'll give you a little more on who I am. So if you found these tips helpful, please hit those alerts, that notification button, that gray bell on top of the screen, and that subscribe button. And if you like what you heard today, the like button. It is super important for us new channels. The more you hit those alerts, the more YouTube promotes this channel, the more others get to see it. That is why I ask. Now, in the comment section below, please feel free to tell us which oils or fats are your favorite. What cooking applications do you use them for, and why would you recommend them, and why? All right? So, I want you to have a great day, a productive week, and we will see you soon with part